So a couple weeks ago, I went to Collecticon, and it was such a cool experience that I decided to look up whether or not any sort of card trade show events happen close to where I am. And luckily enough, there was one this weekend. So I went and checked it out, and I did a bit of a blog to show you how it went. Let's check it out. So the event was advertised as a sports card trade show, but it also advertised non-sports and toys and comics and stuff like that. So I was excited to kind of hop in and see. Even at a sports card trade show, you never know if a sports guy is going to have like a little bit of Pokemon that he doesn't know much about. You might be able to get pretty good deals. So I thought I would go and just check it out and see what was there. You can see that there was a lot of toys. There's actually a lot of Marvel stuff. Not a whole lot of Pokemon stuff, unfortunately, but there were a couple of booths. Now, lots of Marvel cards and also lots of Pop Funkos and lots of toys, vintage toys, different Star Wars stuff. It was actually really cool. They had a toy section kind of over in its own lane, as compared to all the sports stuff that was on the other side. So I made sure to check out every single booth, even all the sports stuff, even though I'm not too into sports. It was interesting too because there were a lot of booths that you kind of walk past and you're like, oh, that has a bunch of stuff I'm not interested in. But there was a guy that stopped me at one point and was like, hey, are you looking for Pokemon or something, something non-sports related or non-comic related? And he's like, hey, check out this little box in all of the other crap at my booth, that had comics and stuff, that had some Pokemon and some like Marvel singles and stuff in it. So this was one of the booths. They're out of Smithfield, North Carolina, and they were just setting up when my first go around. And they had a lot of Pokemon stuff. They threw out some binders. They actually had some vintage packs and stuff there earlier. But as you can see, a lot of the Pokemon that I actually found there were modern. Most of it was modern. It's probably just a lot easier to get your hands on nowadays. I think some of this stuff, you can see a Diamond Pearl Reverse Monferno there on the left. That was probably like the oldest looking card out of the bunch. There were a couple of people that had old like WotC. You can see there's some WotC graded cards in the case to the right as well that they were setting up. But most of the singles were modern. And a lot of the slabs I didn't really look at. I'm not really big into English slabs or English cards right now in general. There are a couple of sets I'm trying to work on and complete. But for the most part, I'm doing Japanese cards at the minute. And no Japanese. If you're looking for Japanese, Raleigh, North Carolina is not the place where you're going to find a lot of Japanese. But you can see they have the vintage packs up top right. They have Base 2 and Fossil and some Pop Series, which was really cool to see. But yeah, that was the more like professional booth. This one was a big booth as well that had a lot of Pokemon right in the center. It was massive. They had tons of cases and things. I think they also had sports and some other stuff as well. But Pokemon seemed to be kind of a big thing that they were pushing. They had a mixture of modern and vintage singles, but nothing really stood out to me. Also, the guy at this booth was like, oh, you have a camera. He seemed a little wary of me having a camera. I just told him I had a small YouTube channel and I liked recording stuff, and he seemed okay with that. But yeah, lots of slabs, lots of card stuff that I would consider maybe junkish slabs. You can see lots of full art trainers, some X and Y, some SGC down in the corner there, some third party grading. What would you even call them? Kind of outside of the big three, which was interesting to see. And yeah, just lots of attention for the Pokemon, even though there wasn't that much of it. Lots of kids gravitating obviously towards the Pokemon stuff. I think there was another binder coming up here that I found in one of like the old toys sections. Lots of cool old toys though. If I was a vintage toy collector, there would have been a lot for me to look at. As you can see, lots of modern sealed stuff. And most of this binder, I believe, was modern as well, if not all of it. But you could have put together a full set of amazing rares and walked out of there. I think there was a lot of amazing rares in this binder and a lot of celebrations. So if I was kind of aware of what celebrations cards I needed to complete my set, I may have been able to complete it with this binder. But yeah, lots of modern. If they had Pokemon at all, they really didn't have much Pokemon just in general. But overall, it was very interesting just to go in and see. Everyone was really nice. And I did pick up a couple of Marvel cards off of a booth that I was at. And it's right next to a flea market. So I went from here straight to the flea market. And at the flea market, there was a guy. I think it's Jim's Card Shop, and it's a Pokemon card shop. And this guy was 87 years old and had been a card retailer since the 70s, I think late 70s, early 80s. And he started in sports and decided to move into Pokemon when Pokemon came out because it just blew up and was so successful. And since then, he's been doing Pokemon. So he's been there since the beginning, and he's 87 years old now. And he was the nicest, sweetest old man. So much fun to talk to. Had this crazy, awesome personality, and he had some pretty cool cards. Unfortunately, I couldn't. I didn't have any cash with me, and he was taking cash or PayPal, and I couldn't sign into my PayPal account. It's like the worst thing ever. Because there were a couple cards that I wanted to grab. Unfortunately, I couldn't do that. But it was really fun to talk to this guy and just he apparently got into Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh very briefly, but he's a religious guy. He's very Catholic. So he actually threw out like thousands of dollars of Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic when they kind of decided they weren't going to carry it anymore because it was too suggestive for kids. So he actually just threw away a bunch of those cards. It was crazy. And he didn't keep anything for a personal collection, unfortunately. I did ask him, I was like, have you kept anything over all these years? And he's like, nope, everything's for sale. It's all a business. I'm like, all right, well, that makes sense. But yeah, you can see they have some more. This is the same booth as before. They have some more high value singles there on the right and some stuff. Pop Series 4, I think Pop Series 5 is the one that has the Gold Star Umbreon and stuff in it, right? So, but yeah, Fossil Pack. I didn't ask if it was weight or not. It's unlimited for $255. I wasn't about to, jump in and try and do that. They also had a Platinum Arceus, a black and white pack, base head 2, stuff like that. Those guys at that booth were super nice. They were actually at the Collecticon a couple weeks ago. I talked to them a little bit about their store and stuff. Really, really cool dudes. But yeah, it was a super fun event. It was just interesting to go in and check it out. And I hope you guys enjoyed this little vlog of kind of what you could maybe see if you try and go to like a sports show. Because sometimes sports shows can have Pokemon. They can have little sections of Pokemon here and there. And you might be talking to someone who doesn't really know much about Pokemon, but they happen to be selling some stuff that they just had lying around. So you never know what kind of deals you're going to find, even at a sports card event. All right, well, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate you coming by and checking out the video, and I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. See ya.